This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today, being brought to you by our very good friends at Mondello's Pizzeria. Again, for takeout, please call 778-6068. Paisan cuisine at its best. And again, Joe began his fifth decade in business along with his brother, his nephew, and great staff over there. Again, takeout only. Remember, for the number one pizza in Wyoming. And again, the pie that is ranked top 10 by the Food Network folks, along with delicious other goodies there like stromboli. You can get calzones. You also can enjoy their delicious hot and cold Italian subs. My favorite there is salami and provolone. They also have for you steak subs. And again, the most delicious pizza around from Mondello's Pizzeria, 778-6068. First Tier Bank's right across the street at 632-3500, 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Open Monday through Friday. Again, interest rates are at all-time lows right now, but they are still encouraging to get a CD, especially from First Tier Bank. They're offering some great maturities right now, so do talk with the fine folks at First Tier Bank. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue, the home for the auto body and paint shop, where they will repair it for you. So bring in the car or truck and let them take a look at it. They'll give you the estimate, and again, bring in your insurance forms. They'll take care of the paperwork over at the Auto Glass and Detail Center. They'll fix them up for you. Get it almost showroom new at 617 East Pershing Boulevard. And again, you want the Lennox family to take care of your automobiles as they have been for over 25 years. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. For more information, call 634-6608. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue. Bruce and the crew have been at this for a long time. Matter of fact, B&B Appliance and TV about 54 years now. They have been selling the likes of Frigidaire, Maytag, GE, Whirlpool. And again, they got a great selection of televisions, hence the name B&B Appliance and TV. Also got a great service department. They service what they sell. 638-6468. Medicap Pharmacy, for all your pharmaceutical needs. See Gene and the wonderful staff over at Medicap Pharmacy with your doctor's prescription. Let Medicap Pharmacy fill those set prescriptions, explain those medications to you. Come inside where they're practicing the social distancing. They also have a convenient drive-thru if you want to do the opting outside. They're open Monday through Saturday, next door to Texas Roadhouse on Bluegrass Circle. Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Del Range, right across from Powers Field and Menards. Ray and Cindy invite you to come on by for the real chicken sandwich taste. And again, they offer breakfast, lunch, and dinner Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. Milkshakes, yes, they're back with, well, they never went away, but they now have the dome lid, which means you're going to get some whipped cream and a cherry on top. Ice cream is back. It's in a cup, not a cone. They have their Parmesan meal kits and original spicy and grilled for only $14.99. And don't forget to use the convenient Chick-fil-A app where you can get the mobile curbside all taken care of for you. They got two convenient drive-thrus that get you in and out as well. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range. Platte Valley Bank at Vanda High as well. You will find them at the corner of College and Pershing, offering all of the banking services that you've come to expect and even more. 778-0021. And don't forget, at Platte Valley Bank, interest rates again at all-time lows. This might be the time to do the refi on the home. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, 775-0123. Again, you can do your shopping online, KiaCheyenne.com. They'll do the buying, leasing process, payments, monthlies, everything else for you right there online. Follow all the prompts. They'll even do a sight unseen trade. That's right. They'll give you appraisal. They'll give you Kelly Blue Book value. Again, follow all the prompts. You can also see the inventory online. Or if you're like me, you're going to go out there and take the test drive and check out all of the versions of Kia. Matter of fact, the Seltos on lot right now. You definitely want to get behind the wheel of the Seltos. That's a good-looking SUV. 2020's got to move. The 2021s are on their way. So see Kia Cheyenne where they're sanitizing hourly. And again, too, if you want to do your business mask-to-mask or face-to-face, you can do that. Kia of Cheyenne, 775-0123. And it's scoreboard time. It's being brought to you by our good friends at Taco John's of Cheyenne. 5 locations. Now, again, a reminder, use the Taco John's app for delivery or use all of their convenient drive-thrus on the South Greeley Highway. You can check them out downtown on KRAE Avenue, Yellowstone Road, Del Range and Ridge, and at the corner of Pershing and Ridge. Taco John's of Cheyenne for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And remember, take the Burrito Challenge. Let's go to the scoreboard. First, we'll check in with Nick.
Do want to remind folks upcoming, again, if you've not seen yet on 1480 KRAE's website, we have posted the tentative high school football schedule. Again, as we are anticipating, as we've alluded to, it is subject to change. Again, we're not even sure if we're even going to be able to, but again, confident, or at least hopeful that we will be able to.
Everything's a go.
We'll see.
Now,
we'll
as
see.
of today,
But
August 12th, it's a go.
Either way, though, again, in Class 4A, looking at our schedule upcoming, Week 0, August 28th will be our first contest. That will be Cheyenne Central traveling up to Natrona County to see the Mustangs. That will be that first contest. And again, the rest of the at least schedule is posted online. Again, 1480krae.com is where you can find it, or our social media sites, 1480 KRAE's Facebook page, Wyoming Sports Talk Today's Facebook page, even on Twitter at Nick Wiles Sports is where you can find that information. NHL action for today and tonight game that already got underway, or at least there's one in action and one also too is final. Bruins taking care of business against the Carolina Hurricanes 4-3. That was a final in double overtime. Again, that game was played earlier this morning due to yesterday's 5 overtime contest. So again, that was pushed to earlier this morning. But again, the Bruins got the victory 4-3 against Carolina Hurricanes.
Are these best of 5s?
These are best of 7, so
Best
again,
of
it's
7.
just normal playoffs. In action right now, into the first, the New York Islanders are scoreless with the Washington Capitals 0-0. Games that are going to get underway here in at least in 20 minutes. At 3:30, the Colorado Avalanche will take on the Arizona Coyotes. You can watch that game on NBC Sports Network. Montreal Canadiens will take on the Philadelphia Flyers. And last but not least, again, games all happening on NBC Sports Network at 8:30. Vancouver Canucks will take on the St. Louis Blues. So that's what's happening in NHL action for today/tonight.
Updating the Washington Islanders scores. Washington has just scored here in the second period. They lead now 1-0. Major League Baseball. Rockies and the Diamondbacks are knotted up at 5 apiece, top of the 6th inning at Coors. End of 3 in SoCal at Angel Stadium. The Halos and the Athletics are knotted up at 3 apiece. White Sox have defeated the Tigers at Comerica this afternoon 7-5. Games getting underway in the 4 o'clock hour. Cubs at the Indians, Marlins at the Blue Jays. It will be the Royals and the Reds. By the way, the Blue Jays will be at their field, their AAA affiliate, Buffalo now. So they finally found a home. The Braves and the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. Orioles and Phillies in the 5 o'clock hour at Citizens Bank Ballpark in Philadelphia. San Francisco visits the Astros at Minute Maid in Houston. It will be the Twins and the Brewers at Miller Park. Nationals, Mets at Citi Field, Rays and the Red Sox at Fenway. Tonight, 7 o'clock games, we'll have the Mariners at the Rangers, Padres, Dodgers at Dodger Stadium, and once again, the Cardinals have been wiped out due to the COVID situation that they are experiencing, as they and the Pirates will not play. It's amazing, too. Pirates, for example, heading to St. Louis, had 16 games under their belt. St. Louis has only played 5 to date. We move on to the National Butthead Association. Let's see what's going on with that schedule as they're in Kissimmee, Florida right now. Pacers and the Rockets at halftime, and Indiana leads 51-50. Games getting away at 4:30. Raptors and the 76ers. Heat and the Thunder at 6 p.m. Also at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex in Kissimmee. Nuggets tonight will entertain the Clippers. That'll be at 7 p.m. The Nuggets are 46-25 on the season as they will take on the L.A. Clippers at 7 p.m. Clippers are 47-23. Oh, by the way. Our scoreboard brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne.
Taco John's presents the most satisfying burrito ever. Challenge. We challenge you to find a burrito as big on flavor as the new Boss Burrito or Bowl, with over a pound of grilled chicken and cilantro lime rice. And we also challenge you to find it for less than $6. Go ahead. We'll wait. The new $6 Boss Burrito or Bowl from Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better. Download the Taco John's app today for even more exclusive deals. Crunching.
The action is fast, unexpected, and can come with awesome results at Wyoming Downs in the Cheyenne Plaza and inside at the Outlaw Saloon. Check out all the action today from the nation's racetracks with pari-mutuel wagering as it unfolds, or with our many different games on our machines. Remember, we are sanitizing our machines all the time for your safety according to state health guidelines. Make sure you get your Wyoming Downs Players Card, which makes you eligible for special events, promotions, and giveaways. The fun and excitement is happening every day at Wyoming Downs in the Cheyenne Plaza and on the South Greeley Highway. For more information, go to WYDowns.com. Family-owned and operated Lennox Auto Body, along with the Auto Glass and Detail Center, has been serving our community for over 25 years with quality service and workmanship. So when you want it done right the first time, call Lennox Auto Body at 634-6608 for an appointment. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue. And the Auto Glass and Detail Center, remember, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean at 617 East Pershing Boulevard.
Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Del Range across from Powers Field is a proud sponsor of our high school and LCCC student athletes. Chick-fil-A always offers 2 convenient drive-through lanes to pick up your order if you are on the go. Plus, they have an excellent dining room for the whole family. And remember to order ahead. Use the Chick-fil-A app on your phone. Stop into Chick-fil-A today, open Monday through Saturday, where you can enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Your home for the real chicken sandwich taste. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range. At First Tier Bank, we are proud to be a member of this great community and will always support all of our high school athletes. First Tier Bank takes great pride in sponsoring the live broadcast of the games and would like to wish all of our teams good luck. We share the credo with Newt Rockney when he said, "One man practicing sportsmanship is far better than 100 teaching it." It's all about the high school sports at First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, Cheyenne.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 92 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 55. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 93. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 56.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Larry Perotti and Nick Perotti, along with our very special guest. He is the athletic director at Cheyenne East, Jerry Schlabs, joining us. You know, we've probably done a whole program off air, but we'll get to everything that we've been chatting about. But when we had your friend in here, Chad Whitworth, last week, we're going to ask you basically the same questions because you're about in that same boat. Your wife's an instructor. You being the athletic director, you've got children going through the system right now as well. It had to be a very difficult time in the Schlabs home, especially with the kids, keeping them motivated to do virtual teaching. But again, you have a little bit of benefit of the doubt with with your wife, especially still teaching right now, to keep the kids motivated.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been as with everybody, it's been a tough time, and especially when this thing first hit, and you kind of had to make some pretty quick adjustments. And this is the first year my son decided not to play baseball. He was going to really focus on track, and then obviously ended up losing that season. And so my daughter, same thing, lost her last junior high track season, lost a soccer season. And I do have to tell you this, kids are resilient, and my kids are no different. They all the kids have done such a tremendous job of just kind of adapting and making the best out of a tough situation. And we saw that all summer with our high school kids as well. And so, when it was different and very tough at times, they did a good job of keeping busy and, getting exercise, doing things that they could do at home, and getting through that school year. And then we were able to do a few things this summer, which was great. And so but we're all pretty darn excited to be at this point.
There's got to be some positivity. And again, you kind of alluded to it, Jerry, of seeing what happened here in the state this summer, whether it is Cheyenne Extreme Softball with post 6-6ers of what they were able to do, entire American Legion, and also 2 rec leagues as well too here in the city of Cheyenne, where we got them out and about. And again, there were no spikes, no kind of negative, at least repercussions of fans and stands, players playing and competing against each other. For you as an athletic director, as we're preparing for a potential fall athletic season on the high school side, especially at Cheyenne East, obviously there had to be a little positivity of what you saw this summer that, hey, maybe we could pull this off, and hey, maybe these student athletes can have a season when they return back to Cheyenne.
Yeah, I'd say those programs kind of set the bar really for the upcoming high school year.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not kidding. For as an AD, and with my AD hat on, when they said that, when Post 6 and the baseball programs and Extreme and the softball programs said they were going to start doing things, I was like, okay, this is going to go two ways. Either it's going to be very positive for us or it could be negative for us. And those programs and the leadership in those programs did a tremendous job of, like you said, kind of setting the bar and making sure things were very safe, and being able to complete, not only start, but complete an entire season. That was very successful for all the parties involved, the kids, the coaches, the parents, the fans. And so without a doubt, that was a very positive for us coming into the fall season. And also the things that we were able to do in the summer with our weights programs and open gyms really helped as well.
So how much is, at least we go back and look to what happened in the spring, and again, the major thing was state tournament, especially in Class 3A, 4A being canceled, no championship crown. Again, the entire spring sports season just absolutely wiped out. How much, again, we've kind of talked with all three head coaches on the football side and even out in the county with Pine and Burns, where, they're looking to what happened as a motivational kind of factor to say, hey, follow my lead so we can complete and have a full season and not repeat of what happened this spring. But for these other athletic events, whether it is golf or volleyball, and you as an AD and talking with students or, again, their parents as well too, is that kind of a mantra that you're kind of going after of, let's not have history repeat ourselves what happened this spring. Follow our lead, trust what we want, at least what we have to say. Make sure that you are social distancing and all those guidelines so you can have a full season and not get it taken away from you, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. You're exactly right. And they've responded. They've been just amazing. And so, they want to play. The kids want to play. They want to participate. The parents want to have, watch them play. And so, from our first summer weights practice we had or session we had, when we had to wear masks and we had to sanitize, take temperatures, I can honestly tell you we've not had one complaint from a student, from a parent, of anything that they've had to go through and do. We haven't had to. Once in a while you might say, hey guys, keep your distance. But we've told them you had to. At first we said you had to wear masks. Then we were saying, okay, maybe you can pull your mask down. And then we were like, well, now they said we can take off masks, but we want to wear them on certain times. And so those protocols have kind of changed, and they've been absolute troopers. They've come through and 100% of the time done exactly what they're supposed to do. And you're exactly right. We've said, hey, if you don't want history to repeat itself, if you want to play football, if you want to play volleyball, more now than ever, it's a team effort. It's all of us. It's parents washing clothes at night. It's the parents coming to our parent meetings with masks on and letting us not worrying about being having their hands sanitized. And so it's a total team effort. And up to this point, we couldn't be any happier with the way people have responded.
And I've known you and Sam Marriage Principal at Cheyenne East for a long time. I call you guys friends. I can't even fathom what you guys have had to endure almost on a daily basis. And again, for you on the athletic director side, it's been up, down. You don't know. You really can't plan because it changes almost by the hour.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the time of no answers, as you guys know, with everything you're dealing with as well. And so it's difficult to get answers on things. I can tell you this, Dr. Brown, Mr. Bartlett, our central admin team, they've been unbelievable. And, they have a lot on their plate, those guys. And they're planning for a school year, but also have to make a lot of decisions based on what we're going to do in our cities with athletics and activities. And they've done a heck of a job working with us and advising us on things to do, and then allowing us to, take that message to our coaches and our athletes. And but you said it, you have to be very flexible. I've probably said more, in the last month. We're not sure. Be patient with us. We'll get it back to you more than I ever had. And that's just kind of where we're at right now with this darn thing. We met this morning, and we're talking about draft plans for a lot of different things. And then an hour after we leave the meeting, we get the announcement that the orders have changed again. And so things happen that fast. And but I can just say that we have a ton of support here in the district, and the ADs, our principals, all the way from the superintendent down, have just been tremendous in this, the information gathering and sharing. And we're going to continue to do that with our kids and parents throughout the whole thing.
Now, the governor.
I was going to say, you got positive news.
You got
today.
positive news from the governor. And again, that also, you had one plan here, you had a contingency plan. Now you have to come up with a new plan.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We did get good news today, and they raised it from $250 outside to $1,000. Now, how that will look at all the high schools in the state, we're not sure exactly yet. We're going to once again meet with Dr. Brown, Mr. Bartlett later this week, and start making those plans. The nice thing is we have a little bit of time until our first contest, and so they've done a great job of being patient, not saying, "Hey, this is how it's going to be right now," because we know things are going to change, and so. But that raising that is going to give us a lot more flexibility as far as, how many fans can come in per student, per band member, per cheerleader, and then of course the visiting fans, like we talked about before the show began, as well as student body. There was a time when we didn't think student body was going to be able to come. They may be able to now, depending on how that looks, and so. That definitely gives us more flexibility and it will let us inch closer to kind of what a regular atmosphere would be at a football game.
Now, the bar was set again by Post 6. And again, another thing that you throw on your plate, concessions. I mean, have you even had that opportunity to dissect each and every individual portion of now what the governor said, hey, at least 1,000 fans, now I know I can get these people in? Can I sell hot dogs? I mean, what else do you know that you can do and can't do?
Yeah, you're exactly right. There's a lot of things that people don't really think about, and it's not only concessions, but how do you feed the kids on an away trip? Those types of things. Normally, ever since all you guys have played, it's been 40 pizzas been dropped off at the bus. As you're getting on the bus, you're sharing pizzas. You can't do those things anymore, and so concessions we're still going to be able to have. It's going to be prepackaged goods. We're not going to have the buffet style type things. We're not going to be able to do, our tailgate parties and those types of things, which is totally understandable. But, we're still going to do our best and be very positive with providing a positive atmosphere at the games. And, you're going to have bottled water, bottled, soda or Gatorade and some prepackaged goods. And, things that we're able to do, we'll do. And I can tell you this, the parents, they won't care. It won't be a negative for them. If they are able to watch their kids play, they're going to be plumb happy coming out there and eating a Snickers bar and having a bottle of water.
And on top of everything, again, for you and the brass over there at Cheyenne East and even the school districts, you also do have to figure out of how, the flow of traffic, so to speak, within the Thunderdome into Cheyenne East, into, Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex, of how you get those folks in and out, even including the bathroom. So, again, it's just on and on of, again, a planning stage to get ready for August 28th. But, as you talk about your teams being on the road, again, for Cheyenne East, have more of the kind of tougher road schedule, at least here in 2020, where you look week 0 traveling up to Thunder Base, and also 2 we'll be back up in Gillette week 2, on top of that at Sheridan and at Rock Springs. So again, all the furthest points that in Class 4A you could do, Cheyenne East is doing it here in 2020. So obviously for you, for also to Chad Goff and just everyone, again, that's got to be tough planning to, I think we alluded to with at least Coach Gallus on our previous show, where what our bus is going to look like, and also too of how do we make sure that equipment is taken care of, and all that fun stuff. Do you have any inclination, especially with football, of are we going to have multiple buses making these long road trips, or is it going to be the full team is not going to be able to make it up to Sheridan and Rock Springs this 2020 season? Yeah,
no, you're exactly right. There's going to definitely be some differences, and once again, going back to Dr. Brown, Mr. Bartlett, they've been working hard with the health department on some plans that address those very things, and we're kind of, like I said, this week they're working on a draft, and we're hoping to have some some final thoughts and things like that later in the week, early next week. And, things they're talking about is on a bus trip, if it's a shorter bus trip in Laramie, Albany, or Platte County, you might possibly have 2 to a seat. If it's something longer, you're going to have 1 to a seat. No more than 25 kids on a bus. So you're right. You're going to end up having to take 2 buses on a football trip, or possibly a volleyball trip. And they have to deal with a lot with that, because, that we just don't have an unlimited number of bus drivers. And so there's a lot of things that go into that. That we're going to have to work through and deal with. The 4ADs and Mr. Laird and the Activity Association have done an unbelievable job as far as some of the guidance with our rescheduling meeting, where we got rid of some overnighters and tried to schedule more regional events, trips that go up and back instead of spending the night, obviously, like I said, where you don't have to be in a hotel. So they're making a lot of plans, and every time I go there, I give them a lot of credit because they have to think of so many things that, I think of a lot of things, and there's always 3 or 4 or 5 things that I'm like, God, I didn't even think about that, on a bus, leaving a seat open possibly for if somebody does get ill, so that they can socially distance, those types of things that they kind of have to think about and be proactive about, and they've done a great job. So we're a lot closer now than we were a week ago and 2 weeks ago, and I have great confidence that we're going to have a very safe and great environment for the kids come game time.
And before we take the break, real quick too, Jerry, as we look at the upcoming season, and we talked off air, how confident, and again, just getting your own personal opinion as we talk weather, usually September, October, our best weather months. We get a blip once in a while, maybe even a snowstorm. We'll probably have some thunder and lightning, but how confident are you as the athletic director that we will possibly get through this fall season uninhibited?
There's probably going to be something that's going to happen that we're going to have to deal with. And I feel confident that we have a good plan in place if something does happen. I'll tell you, coming through the summer made me a lot more confident. We had, just at East High School alone, 500 to 600 kids that came through with open gyms, weights, and to see how they reacted, and not only in East High School, but they did a survey, which really helped us get to this point. It was almost like you talk about with Post 6 and Extreme. Mr. Laird and the Activities Association do a survey where that said basically over 4,000 kids have been doing things in the weight room, open gyms, and you don't have one case of anything that happened, nothing negative. And so I'm confident that we're going to do our best and work together to get to that point. I think it's going to, with everyone going back to the schools, I think the school district has an unbelievable plan to keep those kids safe and the teachers safe. And so I also think we have a good plan to be flexible if something does come up. And so I'm pretty darn confident that we can make it through these seasons.
East High Athletic Director Jerry Schlabs visiting us today here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We're going to chat with him more after this time out here on 1480 KRAE.
Wisdom, expertise, compassion, qualities that are the foundation of Cheyenne Urological, with their experienced doctors and their highly trained staff providing top-quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence. You can trust Cheyenne Urological to give you the highest quality urinary care. Now offering the latest in robotic surgery, call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131. That's 635-4131.
Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI-FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local, serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480.
Are you looking for fun? The all-new, completely redesigned 2020 Kia Soul has what you're looking for. AJ Miller here for Kia of Cheyenne, and the 2020 Kia Soul has updated details inside and out to provide great comfort and drivability. Check out the high-tech features available: turbocharged engine, paddle shifters, and an 8-inch heads-up color display. Come in today, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
Is a refinance right for you? Rates are great. With a refinance from Platte Valley Bank, you can save money, lower your monthly payment, pay off other outstanding debt, or even shorten your loan term. Ask a Platte Valley Bank mortgage lender how a refinance could benefit you today, or start the process online at www.pvbank.com.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All loans subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Do you want the peace of mind of a professionally installed security camera system? Then go with the name you trust, High West Digital Solutions, a High West energy company. The experienced team at High West Digital Solutions will customize a video security system for you, helping you keep an eye on everything going on inside or outside your home or business. Go to hwds.com or call 307-245-4333. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
B&B Appliance and TV has been your locally owned appliance store. Not only do we offer several major brands, we also service what we sell. And we have the largest parts department in Laramie County. Next time you're in a big box store, just ask to see their parts and service department. Then come visit the appliance experts at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 92 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 55. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 93. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 56.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. I'm going to try to get away from, the planning stages. I want to take a step back a little bit and look at last year's senior class. And again, some of our student athletes got shortchanged. The basketball, again, the Lady Thunderbirds had a very good shot at a state championship, boys, but also, too, you look at soccer and track and field and even swimming. So all of those senior athletes kind of got shortchanged in what might be one of their better sports. But as we were talking, and Nick was mentioning, LCCC, for example, you also did have a chance to place some of your senior student athletes, the McCord twins. They're going to LCCC as they join former Cheyenne East great.
You got Kai Buell, who
Eric
made it
Oliver.
over to Western Nebraska, so a lot of Region 9, at least, talent.
Yeah, so bottom line is, you did get some of these senior athletes did get a chance to move on to that next level. Now, when that next level will be at that venue, that remains to be seen. But, again, I feel bad for some of those senior athletes that didn't get a chance to really shine that one last time.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very sad time for those guys. I remember we, of course, like Chad and Mark and all those guys, I was up at state watching that Central Green River girls basketball game when all that started going down, and they said, hey, we're not going to have fans, and we're like, okay, we can deal with that. And then 30 minutes later it's canceled, and then we're calling back home going, well, do we keep the kids here for the night? Do we take them home? They're like, bring them home. And so you didn't have a lot of closure. I remember talking to Coach Horsley, and they came through and got them some dinner here, and then they left, and then the next thing you know, school's canceled, and I remember talking to Coach Horsley a week or two after that, and he's like, you never had a chance to really say goodbye to those kids. And so not only did they, were they not able to participate in that spring and into that winter, they never had a chance to really say goodbye to their coaches or their friends and get some closure on anything. And so that was really tough. And then, like you said, we do have some kids that are able to play at the next level, but then you have, it happened up in like Gillette and Sheridan. And we had, multiple kids that were going to Sheridan for soccer and basketball. And
for instance, Madison Blaney, who, again, thankfully got picked up. She'll be joining Kai at Western Nebraska, and a few others that have got picked up by other Region 9 schools that are actually participating, thankfully. So
yeah, absolutely. And thank goodness that worked out for some of those kids. So, yeah, the punches just kept coming. And so, just a terrible situation for everybody. I mean, it just affected everybody in so many different ways. Obviously, with us, with sports and the athletes, that's the business we're in. But, all the local businesses, everything was affected. And so you really had to just, like I said, just kind of rally the troops and do your best. And the coaches did a great job with, communicating with the kids when they were able to. Everybody's better at Zoom and Teams meetings now, and so everyone kind of adjusted. But at the same time, I can tell you, we had a football parent meeting last night, and we did it outside at Okie, and I along with everybody was very happy to just see people sitting in the stands, and they were so darn happy just to hear some information about practice and schedules, and the kids ever since the first day of weights have been nothing but great, and so they're super excited to be at this point right now.
You look back, graduation, and you're an administrator there at Cheyenne, so I'm going to ask this question, and I didn't ask this of Chad when we had him in here. How important was it to have that ceremony for those young men and women? And again, too, the city of Cheyenne has recognized all of our senior graduates throughout the course of the summer. Matter of fact, those banners are still hanging. But how important was it to at least have that graduation ceremony?
Yeah, it's probably hands down the most important thing that happened since the pandemic began for students and for athletes in the community. They had so much taken away. And I tell you, Dr. Brown, Mr. Bartlett, I said their name a lot, and our central administration, Dr. Kinney, Mr. Weigel, they had to work so unbelievably hard to make that graduation happen. Asking for, trying to get parents to be able to come, asking for a variance. Frontier Days, kudos to them for allowing us to do that out there. But obviously I went out there and it was a different type of graduation, but one of the most successful and special graduations we've had. And like you said, Larry, it was probably hands down the most important thing that happened since that pandemic happened, to give those kids an opportunity to have some closure. And like you said, what a great, just an outpouring of good things from our community, as far as the posters and the things on the TV and the things on the radio, and everyone just kind of rallied behind those seniors especially, and did their best to make it special for them.
For you, Jerry, I want to get your thoughts on what we're seeing. Again, the beauty of a state border, where we look just at least a few miles south of Cheyenne, with what's happening down in the state of Colorado and their Activities Association, where they announced that all sports except for a few handful, again, some of the outdoor sports like, for instance, softball and golf, will be at least a few that are participating in the fall. But again, everything is now clumped into springtime for at least Colorado and those high school athletes. For here in the state of Wyoming, again, we're kind of on par, as if, quote unquote, kind of normal-ish, where, hey, fall will happen, spring sports will happen, and again, those multi-sport athletes will have that shot to go from football to basketball, or volleyball to softball now, again, at least that introductory new year. But I want to get your thoughts on that, of Colorado's kind of move to Wyoming's move, of, again, the importance of having that option, or at least where we're at, to kind of continue that normalization to allow those student athletes to be that multi-sport athlete here in the state of Wyoming. Yeah,
absolutely. I know when the talk first started about, possibly you can move some fall sports to the spring. The Activities Association and most of the schools and superintendents were like, oh, well, the spring already lost a season. How can we then cram everything into that where they're not going to have their normal teams? And so while that option was always there, they kind of took that off the table early and said, what plan B, C, D, E can we do before that? And so, everyone's just done a super job as far as working together. And like I said, the Activity Association has done a super job of kind of, they took a lead when they were finally able to, in working with Dr. Harris from the State Department of Health. And, just not, they were very open to ideas and thoughts. And like I said, they still took, safety is the number one priority for everybody, for the state, for the district, for the schools, for the ADs, the coaches. But they did realize that, Wyoming may be a little bit different than some of those other places, which was good. And they also took what we were able to do this summer, like you said, multiple times, with the baseball and the softball and with the open gyms. And they saw that, people could work together and be responsible and make sure that it was a good environment for everybody.
Now, Jerry, I want to get your thoughts. And we've talked with Chad, we've talked with Dan Gallus, and also, too, with Mike Apodaca, getting their thoughts. And, again, the most recent was Dan Gallus, who actually got to see what at least numbers were for the first day of practice when we had him on Monday. But for you as an athletic director, seeing all fall sports and, again, interacting with those student athletes and parents as well, too, we've seen on the pro level, collegiate level, of those athletes opting out, to, whether it's their choice or those conferences' choices to, again, not play their sport. Have you kind of run into that, and not just isolating football, but again for volleyball, for golf? Have you run into those situations that parents have basically come up to you and said, yeah, I don't want to run the risk. I'm opting out. My student is not going to at least participate? Or is it kind of, was Cheyenne's kind of more fortunate to at least have parents kind of buy into this, or at least realize that, hey, we are about the safety and the well-being of our student athletes, and we're doing the best that we can to make sure that they are avoiding this pandemic?
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't really dealt with it very much. I'd say 99.9% of the kids and parents, just want to do whatever we can do and whatever they need to do to make sure things are safe and make sure we have a chance to participate. We've had questions where parents go, I'm not sure if I want to do this. What's this going to look like? What's travel going to look like? Or what's a hotel stay going to look like? And then they've said, well, we're going to think about this before we decide what we're going to do for a student, which is great. You want them to do that for their student. You want them to make the best decision they think possible for their kids and for their family. But at the same time, like I said, the majority of folks, are very supportive of. They've been very patient, waiting to see what's going to happen, knowing that's the situation we're in, and are very, like I said a little bit earlier. I think if we told them, hey, your kids and parents, you're going to have to hop on one leg to get to the stadium, if for us to play, they would do that. And so they're very open. We've talking about, it used to be a pride thing for the kid not to wash his practice gear for a year. We're telling him, hey, the only thing you can leave here is a helmet, a shoulder pad, which we're going to wash with soap and water, and you're going to take everything home every night, and we're going to wash it every night. And those things are going to change. The suck it up era, I called it, kind of at the parent meeting last night, where we rub some dirt on it, suck it up. This year's not a year for sucking it up. If you don't feel good, we want people, we want to educate them to be very honest with us. And if you're not feeling well, stay home. Answer the questions that we ask honestly, and then we'll go from there. And everyone, like I said, so far has done just a tremendous job.
Jerry, unfortunately, the politics of the world has changed. And again, especially in our country, it's not good. And we add to it where the young men, and even in my case, where I'm playing over 60 baseball, and I'm playing with guys that I've known for 10, 15, 20 years, and we get done with the game, and it's like, we got to go off this way, and then we go talk on the grass after it's all said and done. One of the things, too, about high school football, it's pure, and it doesn't get involved with the politics. But unfortunately, you, as the athletic director, got to remind your coaches, hey, we can't go side to side anymore and say, hey, great game. I mean, some of the things in 2020 and 2021 are going to be a lot different than when we played.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, the kids adjust so quickly. I mean, I'm just watching our practices where, we have cones set around. So when they have a break, they go to their cone. And so they can't get in groups and talk and BS, and they can do it. They've realized, wait, we can still do that when we're 6 feet apart. Some of the things you talked about, holding hands in a huddle. We're not going to do that. Those are just small adjustments we have to make. We're not going to go and chest bump and do a ton of high fives. The kids are already starting to salute each other and those types of things. I know the football coaches in their meetings with just football coaches talked about doing those same type of things after a game. Let's line up on the hashes and we'll just give a salute to each other just to kind of say good job, and continue with positive sportsmanship. And so everybody's just jumping in and finding new ways and creative ways and unique ways to make the situation as good as possible, and they're doing a super job.
Let me follow up on that. Let's just say we get through this pandemic, and hopefully there's that miracle cure and everybody is okay from this. Is this going to stay in play forever and ever and ever, or do we eventually go back to going across and shaking hands after it's all said and done?
It's a good question. I'm not sure if I have a great answer for that, because I've thought about that.
You'll get a memo saying it's okay to do that now.
I mean, I think there's going to be some things that'll probably naturally go back to what has always been the case. But I also think they're going to find out there's a new way of doing some things that they probably are going to like and that we'll like, and say, hey, this works really well, pandemic or not. This is a good positive thing for us as a community and as a school and for our culture. And so I guess to answer your question, I see it going both ways.
So for you, Jerry, and again, more so with the good news that came from the governor today, especially where outside attendance is up to 1,000 at least max, or again 50% of what is the potential capacity outdoors, and again still restricted to that 250 indoors. But my question to you, and again this might be a district thing or an activities association thing, but more so it's for those fans that do not have a student athlete that are diehard. And again, we know that there are diehard East fans, Central fans, South fans that do not have a student athlete, that do not have that into direct communication with Cheyenne East, Central, or South. But is there ways to get information, or at least know as the season kind of goes forward, whether it is volleyball, golf, football, of attendance, or is this allowed, or what's kind of the protocol? Is there a centralized kind of area for that information of how fans go about to watching these games, or again, even parents as well too?
Yeah, you bet. We'll probably utilize you guys, and we'll probably utilize the newspaper folks and as well as our normal communication, and working with the district. They're going to, like you said, they're going to kind of make decisions. And our district has done an unbelievable job of working hard to allow us to do some things, but also being a little bit more on the conservative side of what is allowed. And, they have to do that because they're dealing with kids and families, and their number one priority, like I said, is keeping people safe. And so, but at the same time, they're doing a super job of giving us opportunities. And so as we work through those things over the next couple of weeks, we'll do a great job, I promise everybody that, of communicating those things. Obviously to our students and our families, but also to the general public when down the road, if those opportunities do present themselves, where we can kind of get back to normal with some of our crowds.
And let's get into some normality here. And again, as we talk plenty of COVID-19 here, again, appreciate you at least kind of giving your thoughts and giving those updates regarding Cheyenne East athletics. But, let's focus on the fall, at least sports. And again, we've already talked plenty about football and what Chad Goff does with this team, where it just reloads, and they're going to be kind of that team with a target on their back as per normal. But let's focus on some of the other fall at least activities happening at Cheyenne East, whether it is volleyball, golf. Give us kind of updates on some of those teams and what you've seen so far of those practices as we get ready for the regular season.
You bet. Well, our golf team with Coach Hardig and Coach Oswald has been in the run in the last few years. They did lose some pretty good seniors. They've been building that girls program, and we have quite a few girls out, which we're excited about. And we have some young, good kids. We'll probably be in the middle of the mix in the golf season, but we have some good freshmen, sophomores that are going to be some pretty darn good players. So we're excited for that for the future. Tennis, we had 30-plus kids out, and for East, that's not typically a high-numbered sport for us. And so, to get 30, 35 kids out, during 2 days, because you usually pick up a couple once we get a little bit closer to school. That's been positive, and we have 16 girls, 15 boys for that right now, with a lot of good young kids. Once again, some kids that don't have a ton of experience, but a ton of 9th and 10th graders, which, when you're going to build a program and continue to make those programs better, that's very positive. Volleyball, kind of like football, they've just been pretty darn consistent, and we have a good group of girls back again. We lost some pretty darn good kids. But we have a good group of seniors back, some good young kids that have participated and played varsity last year. And so we expect those guys to be in the mix. It's going to be exciting. We've changed those tournaments, but we are having some dual matches, multiple dual matches on a day rather than the tournament. And so we're excited to see them the opening weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we have a girls swim program that's starting. Those kids are going to deal with a little bit more adversity than most because of our pool situation. Yeah. But once again, kudos to the district and those guys that have worked on that. Once again, Mr. Bartlett and Dr. Brown and our board, they did a tremendous job planning. And I'll tell you what, we're going to have one special East High swimming pool in about a year and a half, and that's going to be able to host some pretty darn big events. And so our girls swim team, they've been going to South. They're going to be going to Central. They're going to spend a year out of our pool. But which is unfortunate for our seniors, but for those younger kids, they're going to reap the benefits of having one of the nicest facilities in the state.
Now, you've been busy, again, this entire offseason all the way to spring, and you're going to continue with what's happening in the world and, again, in the state of Wyoming and the city of Cheyenne. But along with being busy, you also, too, hired some new folks, most notably there at Cheyenne East for the inaugural softball season, a guy we've had in and had the pleasure to talk plenty of times with, that being now new head coach of the Lady Thunderbirds inaugural softball season, one Adam Galicia, where, again, he's an established coach. He's already got another state championship with the Cheyenne Extreme. He's been there, did it, done it, so to speak, and kind of elevates that East program already kind of, I would
as a top contender.
As a top contender across the entire state. So just talk about at least getting Adam Galicia hired on as the first ever Lady Thunderbirds softball head coach.
Yeah, we couldn't be more excited to get Coach Galicia in. Like you said, I mean, everything he's done speaks for itself. He's been nothing but successful, and I'll tell you, he has a lot of energy. He's super excited. I mean, I had a call from him not 2 days ago where he's like, "Hey, can I meet with the girls this week?" And I'm like, "What girls?" He's like, I'm like, "Do you want to meet the softball girls already?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Well, we haven't even started school," and so he wants to get those relationships going with the kids that he doesn't know and see what kids are interested in and get them doing some things. And it's funny, I actually had to say, well, we might be able to have a meeting, but we kind of got to hold off for some open gyms and things until we get these other sports going. But super high energy, obviously very knowledgeable and very successful, and we were all very excited about the softball. You know, the folks that applied for the softball jobs, you know, we weren't sure what were we looking at. It was new for everybody, and to get the quality coaches that all three schools got, and with the experience and the expertise, and you know, we haven't hired assistants yet, but we're going to do that probably in the next month or so. And there were a lot of applicants for that, so we're very, very pleased and super excited with at least that initial you know, the goings on, I guess, of the softball season. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And like you said, with Coach Galicia and some of the girls that we know that have played not only competitively but with the rec league and other programs, we're really excited at East High School for that.
I was going to say, with Coach Quigley, Coach Barker, and Coach Galicia, I think all three high schools are going to have very good softball programs coming up. Jerry, you know, I hate to be the downer guy here, but that's, you know, part of my job. We know 2020 and 2021 pretty much that's already, you know, in play. We already know from the state that things are going to change 2021, 2022. Have you already been in discussions with admin about what to possibly expect after this school year into the next school year? Because I know in my case, I got to be about 3 months down the road. I can't imagine what you have to be down the road, but budgets, do you foresee, or have you been instructed to, hey, we need to scratch off a few bucks here and there?
You know, we started thinking about it without a doubt. I mean, we're so unbelievably lucky to be in Cheyenne, and we've been so taken care of. You know, even in the tough times, you know, we've had to tighten our belt a little bit, but their number one priority of our district is always making sure the kids have what they have. You know, in most situations where, you know, the rule is the kids pay for their first meal out. You know, our coaches usually raise money and then use their activity funds to do that. And so it's always a priority to make sure the kids are taken care of, and that's not going to change. In saying that, you know, it is our turn to kind of help out our district and possibly tighten the belts and change the way we do some of the things that we've done in the past. And we have started thinking about that. The school districts are usually about a year behind what normally happens because of the way they fund the school districts and so on and so forth. But Mr. Ciccarelli, who's the head of that department here with the school district, he's already been in communication and you know, kind of letting people know things that might have to happen. And so we're definitely thinking about that. We haven't had extensive conversations about it, but I can tell you the way we've been taken care of and how well we've been taken care of, we're happy to do our part, and we're going to make it work and make it great for our kids.
And that's great to hear, again, of what is happening on the economic side, not even just here in the city of Cheyenne, but again across the world with what has happened with the pandemic. That's great news to hear. And Jerry, just want to say, at least lastly from me, again, appreciate you coming in, talking, and giving the updates of Cheyenne East Athletics, where we'll get you in probably at the tail end and get ready for spring sports and get the updates. But something that also to happen this summer, we're getting prepared for here 2020, especially to get students and student athletes back into the classrooms throughout the entire city of Cheyenne. Just down the hill, literally down the hill from you, is KRAE Junior High, that brand new junior high school where no longer have to make the trek. But on a student athlete side of things, where you're talking, hey, build up that younger core group, how crucial is that for those student athletes there at KRAE Junior High to now just make the quick jog up the hill or transfer over to the football fields to now see what those varsity level teams offer and are all about, and also too for those head coaches just to make that easy trip to talk with those up and coming youth that'll eventually be Lady Thunderbirds and Thunderbirds.
Oh, it's unbelievable. You're right. It's unbelievable. We can't not be more excited. And if people haven't driven by there, holy cow, talk about a beautiful setting for a football field. And then the gym is, you know, other than the field house, I don't know if there's a larger gym the way they did that. So once again, our district did a tremendous job in the planning of that. And it's a beautiful scene. And I mean, when you look out at our campus at East High School, and then you see KRAE and the football fields and the practice fields and the track areas, it's pretty unbelievable. We're pretty darn lucky to have what we have. But you nailed it. It's to have those kids close, to be able to have our coaches go down to there during the lunch period and meet and talk with those kids and tell them about it. We've done a good job of getting those kids into our building, for a game here or there. They've come and played at Okie. But to have, one of our practices end and have their football game going on, and, depending on how many people that can get into the games this year, but in a normal year, our football team be able to go over there and stand on the sideline and cheer those kids on. I mean, there's so many advantages of them being close to us, and many opportunities for us to share facilities and for the coaches to work together, for the junior high coaches to be with our high school coaches at practices. And so you absolutely nailed it, Nick. It's going to be nothing but positive.
It's amazing, too, with that KRAE football field. Just think back about 4 or 5 years ago. That was part of a parking lot and part of the opposition stands.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, everything, the whole Okie Blanchard Sports Complex has a brand-new look, and again, with KRAE Junior High coming into play, it actually adds a new dimension
it's like
down
where
there.
KRAE is, well, granted, again, the new Okie Blanchard wasn't even there when I was there, but also, too, I feel bad for
I still have a brick of the old Okie
I feel
Blanchard
bad for dating Chad Goff when we had him on saying, hey, the first year you were a head coach, I'm now 30 at this point in time. So
it dates me even worse.
Well, Jerry, we want to thank you so much for dropping by and chatting with us. All the best on the school year. Fingers crossed that everything will go according to Hoyle, and we'll be able to, like Nick said, chat spring sports with you and talk about the upcoming softball season, because I'm sure I know all you athletic directors are going to be very, very excited with this new sport coming about. And of course, weather permitting, for all of these new sports coming up in the spring as well. All right, we got to take a time out. We're going to be right back. Again, thank you to Jerry Schlabs, Athletic Director at Cheyenne East. We'll be back after these words on 1480 KRAE.
The action is fast, unexpected, and can come with awesome results at Wyoming Downs in the Cheyenne Plaza and inside at the Outlaw Saloon. Check out all the action today from the nation's racetracks with pari-mutuel wagering as it unfolds, or with our many different games on our machines. Remember, we are sanitizing our machines all the time for your safety according to state health guidelines. Make sure you get your Wyoming Downs Players Card, which makes you eligible for special events, promotions, and giveaways. The fun and excitement is happening every day at Wyoming Downs in the Cheyenne Plaza and on the South Greeley Highway. For more information, go to WIDowns.com. Family-owned and operated Lennox Auto Body, along with the Auto Glass and Detail Center, has been serving our community for over 25 years with quality service and workmanship. So when you want it done right the first time, call Lennox Auto Body at 634-6608 for an appointment. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue. And the Auto Glass and Detail Center, remember, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean, at 617 East Pershing Boulevard.
Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Del Range across from Powers Field is a proud sponsor of our high school and LCCC student athletes. Chick-fil-A always offers 2 convenient drive-through lanes to pick up your order if you are on the go. Plus, they have an excellent dining room for the whole family. And remember to order ahead. Use the Chick-fil-A app on your phone. Stop into Chick-fil-A today, open Monday through Saturday, where you can enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Your home for the real chicken sandwich taste. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range.
At First Tier Bank, we are proud to be a member of this great community and will always support all of our high school athletes. First Tier Bank takes great pride in sponsoring the live broadcast of the games and would like to wish all of our teams good luck. We share the credo with Newt Rockney when he said, "One man practicing sportsmanship is far better than 100 teaching it." It's all about the high school sports at First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, Cheyenne.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned, full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today. It's being presented to you by Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D, the Greenway Commons for takeout, 778-6068. Open Monday through Saturday, beginning at 11 o'clock. Sundays open at 12 noon. First Tier Bank is right across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. You can catch the wonderful staff over there Monday through Friday, and their telephone number is 632-3500. Lennox Auto Body and the Auto Glass and Detail Center. The Auto Glass and Detail Center located at 1617 Pershing Boulevard, and the Auto Body Shop right there at 1020 Dunn Avenue. For more info, call 634-6608. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue, 638-6468 for your appliances for the home, the kitchen, the laundry, whatever the case may be, or if you need a new TV, see B&B Appliance and TV. Medicap Pharmacy on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Gene and the great staff invite you to come on in. And again, they're practicing social distancing Monday through Saturday. And again, they're also offering a convenient drive-thru, as they have been for the longest time. And they're next door to Texas Roadhouse on Bluegrass Circle. Chick-fil-A Windmill and Del Range open Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. till 10 p.m. 2 convenient drive-thrus and the Chick-fil-A mobile curbside app. So again, do your ordering right through there, and it'll be waiting for you when you get to Chick-fil-A Windmill and Del Range across from Powers Field and Menards. Platte Valley Bank has 2 banking locations for you, open Monday through Friday, 778-0021, their telephone number. Check them out at the corner of College and Pershing and on Vandehigh. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. You can come on by, kick a few tires, and take a test drive of the Kia of your dreams, or you can do it online. KiaofCheyenne.com, 775-0123 for more information. And it's scoreboard time. It's being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. 5 locations to get your Taco John's fix. And again, you can first go with the Taco John's app for delivery. Or me, I'm going to one of the 5 convenient drive-thrus, South Greeley Highway, downtown on KRAE Avenue, Yellowstone Road, right to the east of us here at Del Range and Ridge, or east-southeast over at Pershing and Ridge. Your homes for Taco John's of Cheyenne. Scoreboard time. Here's Nick.
I want to at least remind folks about our upcoming fall, at least football schedule on the high school side of things here in Class 4A. Again, as we are getting ready for that, Week 0, August 28th is the first start date where we're hoping to be at Natrona County with Cheyenne Central. But again, for more information regarding our schedule of locations, dates, all that fun stuff, including times as well as once we get that information. But again, that information is online at 1480krae.com. Also, too, has been posted, pinned at the top of our Facebook pages, whether it is 1480 KRAE's Facebook page, Wyoming Sports Talk Today's Facebook page, or also too pinned at the top on Twitter at NickYO Sports. So again, our fall football schedule, broadcast schedule, which again can be heard on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480krae.com, and also too video live stream on the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel and Periscope via Twitter. NHL action happening earlier today, happening now and later today. How about a final in double overtime in Toronto after this game had to be moved due to the 5 overtime game last night. Hurricanes at least fall to the Boston Bruins 4-3 in action right now. The New York Islanders taking on the Washington Capitals. It is tied at 2-2, 17 minutes remaining in the second period, and underway, 8 minutes left in the first period. It's scoreless between the Colorado Avalanche and the Arizona Coyotes. 2 other games about to get underway, at least later on tonight, 6 p.m. on NBC Sports Network, happening in Toronto. The Philadelphia Flyers will be the home team taking on the Montreal Canadiens. And last but not least, on NBC Sports Network, the Vancouver Canucks will take on the St. Louis Blues. That's what's happening in NHL action today and tonight.
Oops. Just like in the past, the Rockies went to their bullpen. They were tied earlier, 5-5. They now trail the Diamondbacks 13-5. The pen has been atrocious for Colorado today against the Diamondbacks. They moved to the bottom of the 7th inning at Coors Field. They are now going to the bottom of the 6th inning at Angel Stadium of Anaheim, or Angel Stadium in Anaheim, and the Halos are now trailing the Athletics 5-3. Final score in from earlier today at Comerica, the Motor City Kitties of Detroit losing to the White Sox 7-5. Games getting away here in just a moment. The Cubs at the Indians at Progressive Field. Also in the 4 o'clock hour will be the Marlins at the Blue Jays. They'll take place in Buffalo, New York at the AAA affiliate of the Jays. Royals and the Reds at around 4:40. 5 o'clock games will have the Bravos at the Yankees, Orioles at the Phillies. San Francisco will visit the Houston Astros at Minute Maid. The Minnesota Twins will take on the Brewers at Miller Park. Nats and the Mets at Citi Field. Also in the 5 o'clock hour, the Rays and the Red Sox. In the 7 o'clock hour will be the Mariners and the Rangers. 7:40 at Chavez Ravine, the Dodgers will host the San Diego Padres, already wiped out due to COVID-19 concerns. The Pirates and the Cardinals, again, as I mentioned earlier in the program. And I'm just going to throw the Mariners out here, for example. They've played 19 games, the Dodgers 18 games. Cardinals only 5 games to date. Again, no makeup date. The makeup date basically is to be determined. And you and me, we discussed it earlier, Nick, that it looks like the Cardinals, if they do get out of this quarantine, that they are going to be playing a hell of a lot of doubleheaders.
Or either they just cancel the season altogether and just say, scrap it.
NBA action from Kissimmee, Florida, the National Butthead Association, with the Pacers leading the Rockets 96-87. They're about midway through the fourth quarter. Raptors and the 76ers coming up at 4:30. 6 p.m. it'll be the Heat and the Thunder. The Nuggets with their 46-25 mark. They'll take on the 47-23 Clippers at 7 p.m. Again, all taking place at the ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex in Kissimmee. Our scoreboard brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne.
Taco John's presents the most satisfying burrito ever. Challenge. We challenge you to find a burrito as big on flavor as the new Boss Burrito or Bowl, with over a pound of grilled chicken and cilantro lime rice. And we also challenge you to find it for less than $6. Go ahead. We'll wait. The new $6 Boss Burrito or Bowl from Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better. Download the Taco John's app today for even more exclusive deals. Crunching.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Well, they're falling like flies, Nick. Let's see. To see all the cancellations of college football or fall sports in general. And yesterday...
Well, college football is the... Well, yeah, I guess, yeah, that is true.
That's your big-ticket sport, though. But, again, Pac-12 yesterday said, not going to happen. Big Ten said, not going to happen.
Which, again, for both of those conferences, as we talked on Monday and kind of alluded to about that they were on their way out, it was basically made note yesterday that it was an official decision that, yeah, they're not doing any fall football. They're looking into spring football, which will be interesting. But right now, as it stands, it's easier at this point to name what conferences are not going. Big Ten, Pac-12, Mountain West Conference, the MAC as well, too. Again, those are the conferences that basically came out and said, yeah, we're not going forward. Will more follow suit? Again, we have the indications. I think the ACC came out yesterday or earlier today basically saying, hey, we're looking into this, but as of right now, we're moving forward with the season in fall time. Same with the SEC, Big 12 as well, too. As of right now, pushing forward for a fall season. You're seeing a lot of teams kind of go rogue and try to get out of their conferences, respectively, out of the Big Ten, where you're seeing Nebraska basically plead their case to the Big 12 to return back to their old conference. Ohio State has kind of reached out saying, hey, we want to play. It's interesting of where you talk on the political landscape of how everything is kind of divided 50-50. It kind of seems like that right now in college football, where coaches, players, administrators, again, conference presidents or whatever, it's almost like a split decision right now where you have some that are coming out and saying, hey, we want to play. This is complete crap of what these conferences are doing. And then also, too, you have some, and again, coaches, players, administrators saying, no, our conference made the right decision, or it's the right decision, NCAA, to not play college football at this point in time and find a way to push it back to springtime or figure out some other, at least, additional plan, but not at least in the fall time. So it's very interesting. We're even seeing it here on the local side, at least over there in Laramie, with what happened with UW football. Where right now, again, they got no season. They were one of the teams of one of the conferences that are officially done for fall football,
and they're one of the teams that been basically safe.
And they're one of without a doubt. Again, for the University of Wyoming, and I think we talked about this off air yesterday regarding the decision of the Mountain West coming out. You hear Nebraska, you hear Ohio State. There's been also 2 indications of Iowa and some Michigan as well too that are looking to join some of these Power 5 conferences. Wyoming is in an interesting spot where they're not the Nebraskas of the world. They're not the Ohio States of the world that are not playing. Where is a Big 12 really going to give a damn about Wyoming joining them? Is the ACC, the SEC really going to give a damn of, hey, yeah, we want you to join our conference? I mean, let's be honest, again, for the Wyoming Cowboys, you're joining any of these Power 5s, it's going to be a long, rough season. But you'll still play football, but you're not really going to amount to anything.
But you also have to probably form a rogue league. Now, will the NCAA even sanction that? Probably not.
You'd have to pull off of what California was looking into, of basically saying, hey, our schools are no longer NCAA sanctioned. They're doing their own thing. Again, that was about almost like a year ago where they announced, hey, we're doing our own thing here in the state of California to make sure that our athletes are getting paid,
right.
Even though the NCAA eventually said, yeah, we're going to allow that. But, yeah, without a doubt, Wyoming and any other school that is not competing right now, you're going to have to look into whether it is, again, we'll even include like the Sun Belt. The Sun Belt, I do believe, is still in action right now. So far, Conference USA, the American, some of these kind of mid-majors are still pushing forward, but we'll see how long the domino, or at least if they can avoid that domino effect and get out of that kind of carnage of what's happening across NCAA college football. But, yeah, without a doubt, for Wyoming, for Michigan, for a lot of these schools, it's pretty much of, hey, you got to plead your case to some of these conferences that are in action. And if they even stay in action, there's no guarantee that next week, will the ACC even still be in action? There's no guarantee.
No. Well,
Big 12 as well, too.
The Big 12 has come out, matter of fact, got it right here.
Yeah.
Come out with their schedule. It's a 9-game schedule. And matter of fact, the league signature rivalry game.
Schedule as of now until they add schools.
September 26th is going to be their first game. They all have a couple of bye weeks in here, too. But the league signature rivalry game, the Red River Showdown between Texas and Oklahoma, will remain at the Cotton Bowl on October 10th. The game will occur without its usual ambiance, as the State Fair of Texas, which annually runs concurrently with the game, was canceled because of the pandemic. But the Big 12 has rolled out their schedule, 9 games starting on September 26th. And it looks like it says here the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship game is slated for December 12th or the 19th. So they've got their plan in place. Now, whether they're able to pull it off here in the next 6 weeks.
And again, these conferences at this point in time, that's all you got to focus on. It's kind of like what we saw here in the state of Wyoming with American Legion Baseball of, hey, that state championship is the only thing that you're going to be playing for, and that's about it. Nothing, at least extending above and beyond that, where for Big 12, for the ACC, for the SEC, yeah, it's pretty much your conference championship, and that's going to be your season, because there's no way in hell you can have any bowl games. You can't even have a national champion at this point here in 2020, especially if some conferences say, hey, we're playing in the spring. It's a complete mess at this point. But do want to at least spotlight one of the local athletes, and again, a guy that we've had on our program before, that being the one quarterback at the University of Wyoming, Sean Chambers, who went out to Twitter with the recent events, what happened with the Mountain West Conference, and again, Wyoming season officially at this point in limbo, or at least kind of canceled, so to speak. And again, that's going to be to be determined if Wyoming gets picked up or finds a way to have a football season here in 2020. But
and let me interrupt you too, Nick, so our fans know. No, I just want to say, it's the Mountain West that has canceled all fall sports.
Yeah.
Wyoming didn't cancel anything.
Again, Wyoming
they had to follow suit.
Yeah, they had to follow suit. Again, it's not Wyoming's decision; it was the Mountain West Conference.
It was the Mountain West, so
which I've already alluded to. But
and that means they might be up for grabs.
To be determined.
Again, it's
up to these conferences to decide of who they want to bring in, and also too, I wouldn't doubt it's going to be kind of based on a geographical kind of location as well too. Of does it make sense for Wyoming to go to the Sun Belt that take on Alabama, Mississippi teams, those Southeast teams like Idaho did and New Mexico State did when they were without a conference a couple of years ago. So we'll see what happens. But again, going back to Sean Chambers, again, quarterback at University of Wyoming, who at least to give you an insight on what players are kind of at least their thoughts are. He went to Twitter after the announcement that Mountain West did cancel the fall sports season. He basically says, quote, saying because of safety concerns for players is a cop-out. There is many universities that put their players in a beyond safe environment for us to play football this fall. University of Wyoming has done everything right since June 1st. To receive news like this is a major blow to us, end quote. So, again, that's just one quote from him. There have been dissenters as well, too, again, as this has been a 50-50 side where outside, and I haven't seen anyone directly associated with the University of Wyoming that have said anything positive regarding the cancelization, but there are players out there across college football that have said, yes, this was the right move. So it's a volatile kind of situation right now in college football where you got to feel less and less confident that is there even going to be football come the end of August or at least in the month of September at this point in time. Right now, my indication, and we'll even spotlight here in this state, in Laramie, across the hill, will there be a football game in 2020 in War Memorial Stadium? I don't see it. I honestly, and the unfortunate news is I do not foresee that.
Well, and you won't see it with the high schools either because they are going to, if everything goes according to Hoyle and we get the season in, it will be at the best records.
Well, this is even before.
I'm talking about the high school.
The Activities Association already came out with that plan saying that no games will be held, or at least the championship game will not be held at War Memorial Stadium. Instead, it will be at the highest seeds, at least venue, which, again, that is perfectly fine with me. I have no issue with that. They've been doing that years before, so, again, there was never an issue with it. But, again, regarding the University of Wyoming for 2020 for fall football, will there be a game held in War Memorial Stadium here in this season?
You doubt it.
I don't. I honestly do not. Again, for X factors, for whatever reason, could there be a conference out there that picks up Wyoming? Possibly. Like, again, for instance, a Sun Belt. Wyoming's not joining. They're not joining.
Wyoming's shopping around.
They are not joining any of the three left Power Fives of the Big 12.
But I don't think Wyoming's shopping around. I think what Wyoming is doing is being true to the Mountain West.
And again, they can't also look to the locale and move down to the FCS if they wanted to for the Big Sky Conference, because the Big Sky already announced they've nixed their football schedule as well too. Their fall sports.
What about schools like University of North Dakota State, South Dakota State? What about those teams?
I have no idea. I think they play in the Summit or something like that. But again, there's possibilities out there, but it all falls in line with what you're seeing in the domino effect, where a week ago we had schedules. Again, Big 12 coming out with their schedule right now. That's fine and dandy. Let's see you put it in practice on the date that you're saying, hey, this is going to be the first game. Because we go back to a week ago, the Big Ten came out with their schedule, their conference-only schedule. The Pac-12 came out with their conference-only schedule. And now, as of right now, August 12th, those schedules, those conferences are dormant. They're not doing anything. So that's why I feel less confident right now for the University of Wyoming, for any college football team out there, in regardless of any level, because we already know Division III is not playing. It seems like the FCS level right now, you're losing conferences left and right. I think the domino effect is going to trickle on down where college football is probably not going to happen in general in this entire country.
Well, it can't trickle down. And I'll tell you why, because if it trickles down, it goes to high school. I think what it does, it rises up.
Again, it's not trickling down to the high school because the Activities Association here in the state of Wyoming is already come out and said that what happened with the University of Wyoming, with the Mountain West Conference, does not affect this football season, that they're not following suit with what is happening on the collegiate side. They've already come out and said, we're doing our own thing, and we're not following suit with what happened with the Mountain West.
Well, here's what's going on in the NFL. It says here the NFL and the NFL Players Association have agreed to test players daily for the coronavirus until September 5th. Both sides are finalizing the details. The original agreement from July 20th called for daily testing through a minimum of 2 weeks from the start of training camp. At that point, testing would be reassessed based on the number of positive cases league-wide. And it was interesting talking with a friend of mine today. Here we are, August 12th, as you mentioned. we should be into week 2 of the preseason of the NFL now. So again, I'm not hearing anything of any training camps. Are you hearing anything?
Yeah, they've had not. I think there've been training camps, but again, it's kind of closed doors, no fan interaction, and
everything's in a bubble right now.
Yeah, without a doubt. So NFL have already announced, again, that was about a month or so ago, that there are no preseason games. They're going to go straight into the regular season, if that even happens. That's the question right now for the NFL, if it even happens. And I think that what you're seeing with college football is going to affect, without a doubt, the NFL season. They're going to look to this. If there is no college football, the NFL might be screwed as well, too.
I think the NFL probably, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, I think the NFL is more under pressure than college football to get their season going. The money's the hell of a lot.
You don't think the money's for collegiate football?
No, I agree.
Again, a lot of these universities,
Yeah, but,
we'll spotlight the University of Wyoming. They're already hurting, as we talk with Tom Berman, post, or at least mid of kind of the height of the pandemic.
The country club owners in the NFL, they don't want to lose any of that slice of pie. Let's be real honest. Roger Goodell, as much as he's hated by fans and people alike, he's made these owners very, very rich, and they're going to do everything in their power to keep this season going.
Yeah, without a doubt. But also, too, if the NFL season does not go on, they have a nice little kind of cushion for those owners and for players as well, too, where they could afford missing out on a season. Compared to collegiate football, who needs football more on a financial side? It's college. I don't think it's the NFL. Again, they've already padded enough of, as you talk, with the TV deals and everything. These owners, these players, they got the money. They can survive a year without football, without a doubt, at least on an economic side. Collegiate, though, outside of some of the Power 5 schools, again, as we mentioned with Nebraska, Ohio State, they're well off.
Alabama.
But as you go down to the mid majors, and we'll spotlight the University of Wyoming. We'll spotlight San Jose State. You think with them not playing a football season to get some fans out to the renovated stadium out there in San Jose, you don't think that hurts? That they're going to have to look towards maybe possible cuts, possible eliminations of sports, as we're seeing some other schools announce saying, hey, this sport no longer exists. Or hell, even look on the JUCO side. In this state alone, Sheridan Gillette got rid of their entire athletic programs due to economics.
and again, too, that was silly on their behalf by them.
I'm just saying.
I know, but again, the JUCOs.
It's happening on every level.
I know, but the JUCOs are still supported by the state. Okay? The state of Wyoming still sends them money.
Same with the University of Wyoming.
Okay. Well, again, so they're losing some money, and I'll give you that, and I'll give you the big bowls and all the paydays for that. But for college, they're not losing what the NFL will lose, and we're talking a lot more.
The losses, though, again, you're talking almost comparing kind of apples to oranges on that.
Not
point.
really.
I think so. Where again, NFL might be losing more money. At least the number value might be higher than the collegiate level, but what that money is, at least that digit for University of Wyoming compared to the Denver Broncos, for instance, I think it affects the University of Wyoming more than it would the Denver Broncos to not have a season. I think if the Broncos are missing out on half $500 million by not playing this season, I don't think it's detriment to that franchise where in 2021 they now have to go fundraising and it's all dire need. I think the NFL has stuff in place and plan, and they built enough kind of cash cushion as a league and teams to kind of survive something like this. Compared to universities where, especially out here, and again across the way at 45 miles there in Laramie, they rely on fans.
I know
they need the fans out
there. And they need teams to go to bowl games and all that stuff
because
they get a cut out of that.
They need those Power Fives to come in and pay them some money so they can build up and keep those at least.
Yeah, I would think with Utah we would have done real well at the gate. But
I'm just saying the numbers might be different. It might be greater on the NFL compared to the collegiate side, but I think the number though on the collegiate side hurts more for the universities. It matters more to them than the NFL, in my opinion. I think so. And again, I who knows if Tom Burner would agree with me on that stint. But again, with them not having any fall athletics, especially the big power money-making one of Cowboy football, I think it really, really stings and hurts that university over.
But also, too, I would think that the NFL is sitting back right now watching the National Butthead Association. They're watching hockey. They're watching
NFL cannot pull off a bubble. There's no way.
No, I didn't say they will, but
the amount of personnel.
But again, baseball is still doing it outside, though, too.
And also, too, baseball, as you have alluded to, how many teams have already had to eliminate games? Granted, with NFL, it's a little bit more forgiving. Where again,
once a week.
It's once a week, so you would miss out potentially again 2 games, and who knows how you would get that. Again, whether it's you schedule it as a Wednesday or a Thursday, there's possibilities on that if you have a COVID at least outbreak on a team, but. You wonder, though, where
it's
again,
also ego, too, Nick, and I'll tell you why it's ego-driven. You've got all 3 of the majors going right now, and you think the NFL wants to be in the back and looking
the
ahead.
NFL is going to be the most scrutinized no matter what.
Oh, they are going to get punished this year, no matter what they do.
The NFL is a business just like these conferences, as I talked about on Monday, and I'll continue with it on the NFL side here, where it's a business. All it takes is one athlete to die. Not saying that it's a guarantee. Not saying it's going to happen if the NFL goes and plays a normal season. Mm-hmm. But all it takes is one athlete, coach, personnel, anyone that's associated with any of those teams in the National Football League. Then you got an issue. Then you have massive scrutiny where, why'd you let this happen? If you just canceled your season, that person would still be alive. That entity would still be alive. They're for the owners for that league, and it's kind of what the conferences right now in collegiate football are alluding to, of saying, hey, we don't want that on our hands. As a liability, we don't want to do that. We'd rather cancel it where everyone, or at least us not being open, is not the reason why X player has a chance to die or catch this virus for whatever reason. I think the NFL is going to approach it in that way, and that's why I think that the NFL, again, worth the amount of personnel, that's a lot larger than NHL, a lot larger than an MLB franchise, a lot larger than a NBA franchise. Again, look at how many people are on that field, how many people you employ. You add all that into an X factor where the NFL is going to weigh that and probably look into it of saying, hey, as a liability reason, we're not going to do this. Just because of X factor of, hey, if that one player dies, they're going to have more backlash than not having a season.
I'm going to disagree with you because they're ego-driven, and right now they're in the back seat, and they're not too thrilled right now because the other three leagues have proven that they can get through this. And again, too, baseball. No, wait a minute.
MLB is.
Well, MLB, again, some of the teams have played 19 games. Yeah, the Cardinals have only played 5. But the thing is, they at least have been able to trot onto the field. Goodell wants to trot out his NFL teams, whether they don't play a preseason or not. He's going to have them out there.
No matter what, they're not playing a preseason.
No, I'm just saying.
We know that's a guarantee that they will have no preseason.
And again, the camps are open, so I'm thinking that they're not going to play second fiddle. They still believe they're the best brand around. And the other 3 have proven that they could do it. Hockey, I give kudos to the National Hockey League right now because, again, having it confined to 2 locations.
Yeah.
And, I'm not even going to talk about basketball, but the thing is having it confined to the East in Toronto and the West in Edmonton. Hey, we've heard no problems thus far from those
There was early outbreaks, but it's been contained, but nothing massive.
Yeah,
that has
nothing that was
put the
even
playoffs
newsworthy
on pause or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and again, baseball has had its pauses, but for the most part, baseball, I would say, 85% has been good.
Yeah, for now. Also true, again, some of those cases in the MLB kind of falls on those players and personnel where, for the Miami Marlins, hey, was it a smart thing to go to a carnival or go out and about where, it's kind of as the
they weren't contained or confined.
Well, they were just plain stupid. Where we're putting the mantra here on the local level with high school athletes of saying, hey, be smart about this. don't go and jeopardize your season. Again, you had pro athletes that just went, screw it, I'm going to go do this, and well, then there goes some of that season. Even though Miami, I think as of right now, still at the top of the NL East for whatever reason, but it is what it is. Where MLB non-bubble, you had your issues, and there's probably going to continue to be issues unless players start not acting out, or at least getting a little too careless as we get closer to the end of the season and postseason for Major League Baseball. But to be determined.
We're going to take a break here in a bit. I just want to mention this too. I saw him play many years ago at old Kezar Stadium in San Francisco. Howard Mudd, the longtime offensive line coach for the Colts, has died. He was 78. Mudd spent a couple of weeks in ICU in a Seattle hospital dealing with several injuries, including a fractured spine and pelvis, following a motorcycle accident on July 29th. He began his NFL career that spanned nearly 50 years, by the way, when he was selected by the Niners in the 9th round out of Michigan State back in 1964. So I remember Pops and me going out to old Kezar and watching him play. He played with the Niners until 1969 when he played his final 2 seasons with the Chicago Bears. Mudd was named to the Pro Bowl 3 times, 2 All-Pro teams, and the 1960s All-Decade team. Then he started his coaching career as an offensive line coach at the University of California in 72, transitioned to the NFL where he's coached with the Colts, Chargers, Niners, Seahawks, Cleveland Browns, Kansas City Chiefs, and Philadelphia Eagles. So again, for us old folks who remember Howard Mudd, pretty doggone good lineman. All right, we do need to take a time out. We will come back with more after this here on 1480 KRAE.
Chick-fil-A at Windmill and Del Range across from Powers Field is a proud sponsor of our high school and LCCC student athletes. Chick-fil-A always offers 2 convenient drive-thru lanes to pick up your order if you are on the go. Plus, they have an excellent dining room for the whole family. And remember to order ahead. Use the Chick-fil-A app on your phone. Stop into Chick-fil-A today, open Monday through Saturday, where you can enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Your home for the real chicken sandwich taste. Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range.
At First Tier Bank, we are proud to be a member of this great community and will always support all of our high school athletes. First Tier Bank takes great pride in sponsoring the live broadcast of the games and would like to wish all of our teams good luck. We share the credo with Newt Rockney when he said, "One man practicing sportsmanship is far better than 100 teaching it." It's all about the high school sports at First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, Cheyenne.
Looking for an IT company with friendly, local customer service and the expertise to handle any job? Then go with a name you trust, High West Digital Solutions, a High West energy company. We handle everything from business network management to personal computer problems to same-day phone and tablet repairs. Visit our website at hwds.com or call 307-245-4333 and speak to a real live human being, local, polite, and eager to help. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
Versatility and value come standard with the new 2021 Kia Seltos. AJ Miller here for Kia of Cheyenne, and this small SUV is made to do. You get everything you want with the new 2020 Kia Forte. AJ Miller here for Kia of Cheyenne, and this sport compact sedan has advanced technology, sleek styling, awesome connectivity, and plenty of space for passengers. The new GT line provides an available 201 horsepower turbocharged engine for responsive acceleration, quick shifting, and even more fun at the wheel. See the Forte today at Kia of Cheyenne. Call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
Lennox Auto Body at 634-6608 for an appointment. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue. And the Auto Glass and Detail Center. Remember, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean at 617 East Pershing Boulevard.
Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Capital Lumber is #1 in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Since 1966, family-owned and operated Capital Lumber Company has been the stop for all lumber, paint, tools, accessories, remodel and do-it-yourself projects, and so much more. Now, Capital Lumber Company announces the beginning of a tasty relationship with Traeger grills, as they now have in stock several models of Traeger grills, along with pellets and accessories. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY, and that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 92 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then for tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 55. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 93, and on Thursday night, it'll be mostly clear with lows around 56.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, our final segment here, which won't take long, so that will remind me to encourage you to listen to our Golden Age of Radio Theater from 8 until 10, Gunsmoke times 2 from 8 until 9 o'clock, and then the Railroad Hour from 9 until 10. Oso is
he's awake now.
He's wide awake. He's ready to go home. When Oso wakes up, that means it's time for us to depart. A couple of things here. I just want to mention briefly Buffalo, New York. They are hosting Major League Baseball for the first time since 1885. Professional baseball.
Which is literally like the first year of Major League Baseball.
When the Buffalo, conveniently called the Buffalo Bison.
Which is their still name of, at least of the minor league team.
Yeah.
So,
but here's the thing I wanted to wrap up on a good note. Amidst all the craziness. The Baseball Hall of Fame class of 2020 has to wait a year to get inducted because of the coronavirus pandemic, but the careers of Derek Jeter, Ted Simmons, Larry Walker, and the late Marvin Miller, who was the head of the NFL Players Association way back when, are already being celebrated at the Shrine. The museum inductees exhibit is now open. It features one artifact for each honoree and includes the Yankees helmet Jeter wore when he recorded his 3,000th career hit on July 9, 2011, Simmons' AL championship ring, won with the Milwaukee Brewers in 1982, and a Rockies jersey worn by Walker in 1998 when he led the National League with a .363 batting average, and a timeline of Miller's career as executive director of the Players Union. The exhibit will remain on display through next year, and the Hall of Fame says additional artifacts may be added. The class of 2020 and anybody elected next year will be inducted next July 25th in Cooperstown. This year's July induction was obviously canceled in late April because of concerns of COVID-19. But a nice thing to wrap up with, amidst all of the stupid stuff that goes on, and I didn't realize that the Hall of Fame was even open in Cooperstown. So again, it says here the exhibit is now open, so that tells me that if you're in Cooperstown, you can possibly go to the Baseball Hall.
As long as you don't fly into LaGuardia or Kennedy out there, I think you have to self-quarantine, or at least it seems like the majority of states now have to self-quarantine once you get to New York City. So just fly into like Albany or something like that, and then travel on down to
get a car and drive down.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, so I just wanted to wrap it up on that positive note. So, anything that you want to add before we go? You just got on this date in history?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. As we went through Golden Age and everything, we will have at least not a show tomorrow because it's your birthday across the way. So we'll just take that day off tomorrow.
I'm playing baseball tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go. Get away from at least for me. And then
And get out of
Friday
town.
we'll be back with another program as we'll get into CSU talk about what's happening down there in Fort Collins, and then maybe we'll get into more Wyoming Cowboy football or at least Wyoming Cowboy athletic talk as well too on Friday's show. But on this date, it is August 12th. We'll go back to the year 1994 where this infamous at least dispute happened in this league's history.
Well, that would be the Major League Baseball strike of
There you go.
94, which lasted into 95.
There you go. In 94, members of the Major League Baseball Players Association go on strike, leading to the cancellation of the World Series for the only second time in MLB history. Last time that ever happened was 1904. Again, it was a labor dispute.
And
so.
and I want you to think, again, you were, 4 years old at the time.
Mhm.
But that was the year that